Well, joining us now, former California Congresswoman and chair of the Commission on the National Defense Strategy, Jane Harman. The U.S. is in a tricky spot right now. The Middle East is on the edge. Israel seems to be not too worried about heightening the tensions, maybe provoking a war. At the same time, Hezbollah isn't backing down. Hamas and Sinwar are not going to be giving up the fight. It seems Sinwar would be willing to sacrifice the entire population of Gaza. And the U.S. is now watching on the sidelines to see what happens next. What do we do? What is in the best interests of the United States?
The best interest of the United States is to prevent all-out war in the Middle East. And that I know the Biden administration is intently working on. Is it being successful right now? No. It is not successful. The proposals for a ceasefire in Gaza and the newer proposal for a ceasefire in Lebanon have not succeeded. Let me mention that it's almost the anniversary of October 11, and 100 hostages, if they are still alive, are in harm's way. And we're barely talking about that. And there's no strategy that's working to get them back. That always was a tenet of Israeli foreign policy to recover its hostages, several of whom are American, oh, by the way. On this, I was at that border in 2006 when the Lebanon-Israel war broke out. I was the senior Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, and we literally saw the rockets fly overhead. It has been true since then that Hezbollah, in a systematic way, has been terrorizing northern Israel. So it is not a surprise that Israel is finally responding in a bigger way. But my question is, what's the strategy? If they get Nasrallah, that's a good idea. But what's the strategy for preventing all-out war? Are they so certain that they will have both allies and equipment and tradecraft to defend against a war with Iran, which could be coming to a theater next week?
Yeah, the question on allies, I think, is really important because you talk about how Hezbollah has made it impossible for Israel to have people living on the northern border, and it's been pretty tense there for a while. Certainly after October 7th, it got worse. 60,000 displaced, a lot of political pressure within Israel to get those folks safely back home, allow them to carry on their lives. At the same time, you look at the images out of Lebanon today and the kids being pulled from the rubble, not to mention the images that we've been seeing for a year now out of Gaza. And those are images that I would imagine that Iran and Hezbollah and Hamas feel pretty good about because it's showing the pain and suffering of individuals, a lot of women and a lot of children. And because of that, the Israelis have had a hard time, politically speaking, around the world. A lot of allies questioning what they're doing and how they're doing it. How does Israel, in one sense, protect its safety, its right to exist, while also not alienating itself from the world?
Well, it's doing the former, sort of, the latter not so well. And let's remember that information and disinformation is easily weaponized. And that happened right after the heinous, unprovoked attack last October 7. And Israel was backfooted by that. And I don't think it had a good strategy to employ after that, although it had a right to defend itself. The people in South Lebanon have been living with rockets in their basements for 18 years. I don't think it's willingly in most cases, but those rockets were dumb rockets 18 years ago. Now they have precision-guided targeting on them. And the missile that was shot toward Israel yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, and shot down, could be one of many. Israel has very good air defense systems. We all know this. But the chance of one missile, two missiles striking a major city in Israel is significant. So then what? And I'm agreeing with you that the United States wants to help here, wants to tamp this down, does want to protect its oldest ally in the region, Israel, does agree that October 7 was unprovoked. But now what? What is the strategy for Israel's response? And shouldn't we be thinking about, we, the United States, who have people in harm's way in the region too, and hostages in Gaza, be thinking about what interests we have to protect our folks and to prevent a wider war in the world. It's ironic that all of this is happening while the UN is meeting. The UN, which was supposed to be the bastion of states recognizing the territorial borders of each other. And you haven't asked me about Zelensky. I think it's good that he met with Trump today. And I think he has to win on his terms. And we have to make sure that protection is in Iran once there is a deal that Ukraine strikes, not that we strike. And I think Ukraine belonging to NATO, once that deal is struck, is a very good idea and the best insurance policy possible.